All right, everybody. Thank you all for joining us today. This evening, I'm very excited because we have Ed Brookmyer from Bear Ground Solutions with us. Guys, I've been using this fish emulsion now. This will be my third season using this fish emulsion, and I'm telling you, it's really good stuff. It'll be my second season using the urea, the SOP, and the DAP. And guys, I really liked everything. So without further ado, let's get Ed on here and let's start talking about some fertilizers. Yeah, hang on a second. There we go. All right. Hey Ed, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good, Ryan. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Thank you for coming on this evening and being part of this live stream.
Well, it's my pleasure. We like to talk about our products and what you guys are experiencing out there, and we think we got a bunch of interesting things that we can talk over. Including the overall direction of our company and some of the new products that we're looking at. We're always looking for input from people such as yourselves to help us chart the course and find the right direction of what people are seeking in products and how they use it and what the feedback is. So,
awesome.
Yeah. I can't see who else is with us tonight. I imagine that
there's a few of them on here. As soon as if they comment, I'll be able to pull the comments up.
Yeah, which is fine. Yeah. So you and I had an opportunity just before we went live here just to have a conversation, and I thank you for all the support that you have given our brand. And I was starting to mention to you that we had been in the winter ice melt business for a long time
Yes,
under the brand name of Bear Ground. We have another name that we use for our outdoor products called Just Sensational. So I'll give you a little background story so that you guys can understand where we came from. We got into this Just Sensational business because we got into scent-based small animal repellents many years ago, and we thought that it was a more interesting, organic, non-lethal way of getting rid of pests in the garden. Basically, it was using predator urines, which I'm sure everybody who has a garden probably has had that option to use, whether it be coyote or fox or wolf urine. So we got into it based on that. And we also had an opportunity many years ago to get involved with a liquid fish soil enhancer. And we thought at the time that, it fit really nicely, another organic product, fresh out of the ocean, that it was a sort of I hate to call it a technology because it really wasn't a technology, but it was something Native Americans were famous for.
Right.
They'd plow fish under the soil at the end of the growing season to rejuvenate it. So it always seemed to make sense to us to branch out and to take the organic type of pest repellent or I hate to say a deterrent,
right.
And expand into into the liquid fish area. So we began to do that for quite a while, probably a good 15 years ago or so, and then we came across a fish farm down in North Carolina that was actually raising rainbow trout.
Oh, wow.
And rendering it. And we began to buy a lot of product from them. Some of their stuff goes into dog foods and other type of the byproducts go in there. But we like the idea that we weren't stripping the ocean of fish.
Right.
This was all farm raised stuff, so it felt a little better to us from a social point of view to be buying a a product that was raised and can continue to be raised that way. And we looked, at the NPK value and how that compared to the other products that were being offered out there. And it was almost equivalent in every way. Ours is a 2-3-1. Some of the competition may be either the same or a 3-2-1. So it's essentially the same thing.
Right.
But our main market has been selling product to the likes of Home Depot and Lowe's. So you'll find our Trident's Pride liquid soil enhancer, available in all of those places. And, we're pretty aggressive on our costs. We try to do it at a reasonable price. It's not the only thing that we sell. So I don't have to focus in on making a killing by selling liquid fish. We have a broad range of stuff that we offer both for winter and for spring, summer. And so we wanted it to be an affordable product. And that's basically, the background, the background of how we got started in it.
Right.
Obviously you guys know a lot about the effect that these soil enhancing products have on the actual soil itself, building a stronger, better soil, improving the cation rate between the roots of the plants and the nutrients in the soil, better earthworm production, and everything else that helps build a stronger plant and a larger plant that's able to weather, the conditions that we have out there sometimes with drought, excessive rain, whatever it is. And that's basically how we got started. Now, I was telling you, but I haven't mentioned it to everyone else.
Right.
There is another ingredient that we're intending to add to our liquid fish called chitosan, which is derived from the shells of shrimp and crab and is processed into a liquid that sort of tricks the plant into thinking that it's under attack by insects because the chemical composition parallels to a large extent the exoskeleton of a lot of insects. So although the plant isn't being attacked, it feels that it has to build its defenses. And by doing so, building a stronger defense against all potential problems, you get a better, stronger plant. Now, I think what's important here, too, is that all the information that you guys may want on, well, what is chitosan really? How does it work? I have all of that info. So if you send me an email address, I can send you, not only our literature, which I can keep to a minimum if you don't really want it, but at least background information on some of these things.
Right.
So, it's our intent to improve the liquid fish soil enhancer by adding other composition to it so that we have like an ocean organic kind of offering that will do nothing but build better plants and produce better yields.
And I think, you're going to have, if I'm not mistaken, you're going to have still offer the fish emulsion by itself.
Oh,
and then you'll have the one with the chitosan, right?
Yeah. The interesting thing is that in looking at the cost structure, adding that to it is a minimal amount of extra money. Both as a manufacturer and from a consumer perspective.
Well, that's good to know too.
Yeah, so why not?
Right. The benefits are see, because I'm just kind of thinking, we use aspirin to do this. We
Yeah.
use aspirin to trick tomato plants into thinking they're under attack. So then they, build up. They release a chemical to fight it off, but there's nothing. There's no threat there, right? And so because there's no threat, it's just increased. It's kind of like when we go and we get a shot for something, right? And
Right.
our body fights it, but there's nothing there but that shot, So it's kind of the same principle for plants, giving it that chitosan. So it makes sense, and hopefully then, if you did get an infestation of say aphids or something like that, the plant doesn't have to send signals to send that stuff to fight it. It's already there. It's
Already
already
there,
defending
ready
against it.
for it. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, no question, no question. It's funny that you mentioned that because I guess the name for aspirin is acetylsalicylic acid,
Right, yeah.
right? And I have, which was sent to me, salicylicates,
Okay.
which I think is the same
I think
basic
right.
chemical composition. And it was mentioned to me that they act as a phytohormone um, that's involved with photosynthesis, transpiration, ion uptake, and the general transport of nutrients throughout the plant. They sent a sample of it to me and asked me to test it out in with the brown algae that you and I were
Okay.
talking about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've always been trying to create products, whether it be an ice melt or whether it be in lawn and garden, that aren't commonly available off the shelf anywhere else, because we like to try to differentiate ourselves both as a brand and for what the consumer actually wants.
Right.
Too much of it is just boilerplate stuff. You want uh, a certain NPK value. Well, there are 6 manufacturers out there that are doing it.
Right.
So, do you want to be part of that, or do you want to be cutting edge on something else that
Exactly.
might work better?
Right.
And that's what we do.
And you're right. If you're stuck in this cookie cutter kind of pattern, right, and you're going with everybody else, there's only so much room for that. You know what I mean? Before you've just kind of collapsed your own market for your own product, because you get so much of it on there, supply and demand. You're just there's nothing there, and
Yeah.
people are going to this though. They're going to the fish emulsions. They're leaving the what I call the blue bad stuff, right? The blue stuff. They're leaving that garbage behind. The Miracle Grow and all that stuff. They're leaving it behind. They're coming toward fish emulsions. They're coming to those things that are more organic, because they understand that what's in your plant or what's in your soil is in your plant. What's in your plant is in you. And
That's
so,
right.
and because of that, they're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to live here. I'm going to garden for a long time. Maybe my kids end up gardening or growing in this same spot, right? I don't
Mhm.
want to pollute the soil. I don't want to harm it. I want to build the soil. I want those good biologics growing in the soil. I want to, feed my plants good things and stuff. And so they're going more to that route of what you guys offer. And I think it's great that you guys offer it at an affordable price, unlike some of these other companies that are just astronomical for a I can't tell the difference because I've used them both, and I'm like, hey, I would
You
rather use this
The
because it
NPK
works.
is the NPK.
Right, exactly.
Nobody's reinventing the wheel. Nobody's creating a new fish. Um,
Right,
I know the people at Neptune's Harvest for many years. They're in Gloucester.
right,
They're only like an hour drive from me, and I've sat with them many, many times on a friendly level
right,
in the past. Um, they fish it out of the ocean. We farm raise it.
right,
There's a guy somewhere else who raises Asian carp, and he uses those. Um, the bottom line is that a brown slurry is a brown slurry as long as it has the right amount of nutrients in it. So
right,
then you come down to, well, how much does this cost versus how much does that cost? If it's apples to apples and you're being charged $20 or $30 more a gallon
right.
for the same nutrient value, What
Exactly.
sense does that make? I
Right.
mean, someone's trying to make a buck,
Right. And
which
and
is,
and,
I
and
mean,
there's
that's
nothing.
what it's all about. But
Right, right, exactly. But it's like I was saying, at what cost do we make our money? You know what I mean? And I think you
yeah,
guys are spot on with the price, with the market value, and everything, and all that you guys got on there. You're doing great, and you know, it's like I told you before. I love the product. It works. If it didn't work, it wouldn't have grown 11 state records last year. You know what I mean?
I'm as soon as I get this mix done of the new Trident's Pride Plus with Kaitistan, I'm going to send you a sample of it.
Can't wait to use it.
Yeah, well, I'd love to do a side by side comparison test
I
too.
can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
absolutely.
kind of fun to see if there's a big.
Between the regular Trident's Pride and the new one.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, yeah, I can do that.
yeah, that'd be kind of fun to see. But so we're gearing up this year to introduce that. Something I didn't mention to you offline before was, it's interesting that there's magnesium uh, chloride,
Right,
which is used for agricultural purposes.
right.
We're going to be doing that also. I'm going to call it AgriMag.
Okay,
Uh, and I'm going to be creating a label and a package for it coming up soon. I've got some documentation on that as well, just as sort of an inside view as to where our plans are and what we're thinking.
now what is it going to do? What is it supposed to do for the plant? Because I'm not really familiar with that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you said it. Okay. Let's just see here. Here's what it's supposed to do. Magnesium is a key for chlorophyll. It's a vital part. Magnesium is vital to plant growth and health. Magnesium in plants is located in the enzymes in the heart of chlorophyll molecules, and that gives leaves the green color.
Right.
It's the powerhouse behind photosynthesis in plants. Without magnesium, chlorophyll can't capture sunlight. So, the combined power of magnesium and chloride delivers a measurable improvement in the quality and yields for a variety of crops that have
Okay.
been tested in the state of Maine.
Okay.
And that includes corn, wheat, soybeans, and potatoes. They've studied the inclusion of magnesium chloride as a spray liquid on those soils and on the plants, and they have some pretty impressive results. Based on those results, we decided that we were going to get involved with it as well.
Yeah. I mean that sounds like it would. Hang on, once I'm trying to charge my computer real quick. Hey, can we go
Yeah.
that way? 'Cause I can't reach over here. Oh, where's the doodad? Oh, here it is.
It's interesting that I guess it's a whole other topic. A lot of people they analyze their soil to see what's in it and what's
Right.
missing from it
Yep.
in order to balance it correctly. But I wonder how many people really look at the water that they use and test the water to see whether the water also is in need of nutrients.
I would say not many. I do know that there are some that have. And the reason why they have is because they wanted to know the pH,
Yeah,
because they thought maybe that the pH they were adding was throwing off the pH of the soil through the water and messing them up. And so they tested the pH, and then that got even deeper. So then they started testing exactly what was in it, whether calcium, magnesium, blah 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 blah. And so there are a lot of it's not a lot of people doing it yet, but there are a lot of people who are catching on to doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm one of them. So I tested mine, and I'll test again this year because I wanted to know what was going on last year. Because last year I had got my soil test, I amended to that soil test, thought I had done it correctly, sent off a tissue sample. My tissue sample said I had no phosphorus, and I'm like, no, that can't be. I dumped a ton of phosphorus on here, right? And so I think what I put more phosphorus on there,
Mm-hmm.
but I think what had happened, but that again, that made me test the well water. But again, what I think ended up happening was it wasn't the well water that done it. After I had done my soil test and I had amended it and tilled it, I went back and added compost, but I didn't know what the compost was.
Right.
And because I added the compost, I think that's what
out
I think that's what messed me up. I think it either locked out the phosphorus somehow, or I added so much compost that it wasn't enough phosphorus when I added the phosphorus in the first time. Maybe I didn't add, for the volume of compost I added to it.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we got it fixed. And stuff, and maybe the compost. I thought compost only pulled nitrogen, out, but maybe it pulled phosphorus with it or something. I'm not sure what happened. I do know one thing. I'm going to soil test and I'm going to amend, and then I'll add the compost or whatever, like I did last year. But I'm going to send another soil sample off just to be sure before I start growing.
Yeah. You might as well. It only makes sense.
Right.
I've got interestingly, I've got a golf course that we deal with, and they ran a water test, and they found that their water was deficient in calcium. And being a golf course, they really were wanting to grow the best looking grass they possibly could. So they were purchasing now a 32% calcium chloride. They'll buy like 5,000 gallons of it.
Right.
It is actually metered into their watering system.
Yep.
So that they can balance the water out.
That's what I got mine.
Yeah, it made me wonder, how many people really test the water when they're growing to make sure.
Mine has a excessive amount of calcium in it. It's got a lot, so I have to be very careful how much calcium I add because it's got. I mean, it was the only thing that kind of led me to that was I was like I thought maybe it was lime and I was messing my pH up, and so one day my hose was pulled down there a little tighter, and I was like, why is it like that? So I went over and looked, and the cables had broken away and the pump fell. And I said, oh, that's why my line's pulled like that. So start raising it up and find out where it snapped there. I fixed it and never be able to snap. Yeah, the calcium had ate through it. Yeah. And snapped it off. So yeah, but I thought, oh, that's lime build up, and I'm like, oh man, we got limestone water. Limestone water, that's how they make whiskey, So I'm sitting there kind of, the wheels are turning that way.
You get ready to put a still in.
Yeah. Yep. And anyways, it's not lime, it's calcium. So, but that's a good thing, because if it would have been lime, I would have constantly had to acidify my soil if it would have been lime, because it would have continued to bring that pH down. And I don't need that. I don't want that. So thankfully it's calcium. I just got to watch that. But yeah, people should definitely, get their water tested and see what's going on with it.
Right. Well, you're going to be,
GT thought that was funny.
Yeah. It is funny.
Yeah.
You'll be impressed with all of the different types of fertilizers that we're going to be introducing shortly also. Aside from the urea and the DAP and SOP, we've got about 6 new blends that we're going to be bringing out this year as we broaden our base in it, and they'll all be as competitively priced as I can make it.
Right.
So, again, I invite all of your people, everyone that you can reach, to learn more about the products that we're going to make available. Aside from the growing products, we do have, garlic sprays that we've been selling for quite a while right now, to try to minimize browsing pests.
Right.
Work into the garden, rabbits and deer, and spray something natural on it, but something that they don't really like to chew on.
Right.
So, keep us in mind for all of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you were talking about, because that reminded me, you were talking about brown algae, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. I really, I'm thinking now also of, I have the brown algae. It's just a question of bringing it over, importing it, and then the liquid packaging it in different sizes. But I'm thinking that we probably will do a liquid fish soil enhancer with the chitosan and the brown algae, and then offer the brown algae by itself also.
Right.
I guess.
So the brown algae, if I'm not mistaken, you said it's similar to the seaweed, right?
Yeah, it is. It's called. If you want to look it up, I think I gave you the liquid Ascophyllum nodosum.
Right.
It's basically it's a marine byproduct, a marine brown algae that they claim contributes to the nutrition and strengthening of crop plants.
Right.
Regulates the metabolism, root formation, also increases soil activity. And so it's got a lot of interesting things, including cytokines that
Right. Right. The
um,
hormones, and
yeah,
a lot of growers are looking for those cytokines to help with their hormones in the plant.
exactly. And so, we're thinking that by itself will probably be a good demand product, and then trying to combine it again into a real, you know, array of ocean organics.
Right.
I think might be interesting to a lot of people.
I think so.
Yeah.
Um, so the blends that you were talking about, you said you got your urea, which is a 4600. You got your DAP, which is a 16480, I think. Or no, 18480, I think, something like that.
Well, hang on just a sec, and I think that the DAP is 18260.
Okay.
The potassium sulfate, the SOP, is 0053.
Right.
And you're right, urea is 4600.
Okay. And you said you're getting ready to make 6 different blends now this year, right?
Yeah, we're going to do a NPK 5105, a 1064, 101010, 525, and a 52510.
Okay.
Well, to be honest, the reason that we're doing the 525 and the 52510, a lot of cannabis growers prefer those two NPKs for either starter or to promote flowering.
Right. Right.
So we figure there's a big market out there.
Yep.
There's a company called Curaleaf.
Okay.
You ever heard of them?
I
But
think.
they're huge, a huge grower. We share the industrial park with them.
Okay.
So, we have the opportunity, hopefully, to work a little bit more closely with them if we can come up with the right blends that they're using also in
Right.
the growing process. But we figure there's a market. Why not,
Yeah.
try to
Why
service it?
not tap it? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, that's good business sense. So, if if it's possible,
Yeah.
uh, could we end up seeing something like we were talking about earlier? What was it? A five?
A 51027.
Yeah. 5, 10, 27.
Yeah, I think so.
Because a lot of people that are looking for that. I'm not going to mention it by name, but most people know exactly what it is. If you was to come to market with that, I mean, that would be something that a lot of people would flock to, only because it's so hard to find and get. So I would love to see it. I know a lot of other people would too. It really does well for growing giant pumpkins and things. It really, I mean, in the garden, it does exceptionally well. Growing tomatoes, it grows tomatoes very well. So that would be very interesting to see.
Well, you see, that's why I think that having a conversation with you folks and listening to the ideas that you have and what the needs it's just extremely important for me. I would
Right.
never have thought about a blend like that unless we had been in this call together.
Right.
Yeah, I think we can probably begin researching it and get it done rather quickly.
That'd be great. That would be great. Now, I do have a question. So your fox urine, your wolf urine, and stuff. People could essentially put that out as well to deter, say, rabbits and deer, couldn't they,
They
away
do.
from their garden?
They do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, let's hear. I mean, I'm sure you got some feedback on those things. I mean, how well is it working?
Well, we sell just a tremendous quantity of it. Um, Very, very few complaints. Most of the complaints that we would receive on something like that is they're trying to chase away animals that you just will never chase away, like
Right.
squirrels
Okay.
or something like that. I mean, they're just too bold.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
but rabbits and deer and the things that are really problematic, it works very well.
That's
Um,
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the reason that there are 3 different types is because each one will frighten off a larger class of animals.
Right.
A fox is not going to scare off a deer,
Right.
but a coyote will, and certainly a wolf would.
Right.
And if you want to frighten off a coyote, which we have quite a few of them in my area,
We do too.
yeah, I mean, putting out some wolf in selective places and giving them the idea that there's a predator in the area that
Bigger than me.
yeah, bigger
Yeah.
than me. Yeah, it does trigger that fight or flight response in smaller animals or animals of prey.
Awesome.
So we offer it in various sizes in liquid. I also created a longer lasting gel
Okay.
out of it that we put into a 10-inch caulking tube.
Oh, that would be really good to have.
Yeah, because that way you can put a line of it, an inch down someplace, and it's not as won't be as degraded by rain as certainly just
Right.
pure liquid would be.
Well, I got fence posts, and I could just drill holes in my fence posts and just put it in that fence post.
Yeah,
you know?
you could. Yeah.
If I drilled it at an angle going up into the fence post like this,
Yep.
the water would run down past it, and it would last forever up there in
Right.
that hole.
It could.
Yep.
The only thing that you need to keep in mind is that these animals are remarkably intelligent.
Right.
So that if you start putting it 5 or 6 feet off the ground, they immediately know,
Yeah.
no wolf or coyote can reach that high, even on a good aim,
Right.
reloaded bladder.
Right.
It just ain't going to happen.
Right.
So, they're smart about it. It's the kind of thing that we tell people who use it. use it about every 16 feet because you don't want to also follow too close a pattern. You want to be about as random as the animal is.
Right.
You don't need a lot. They don't stand there. And,
Right.
It's not like a dog peeing on a phone
Right.
where they just saturate it. They just mark the territory.
Right. See, a lot of people don't know this. I trap. I trap coyotes and fox stuff, so I'm very familiar with what and how they do it. And a lot of people don't know that a male only goes and cocks his leg up for literally about a second.
Yeah.
He just goes over, cocks his leg up, and just
Yeah.
tinkles. It's not even a pee. It's just he just squirts.
He's just marking.
Yep.
He's just marking the area.
Yep.
So that kind of product has been a good product for us because there's a lot of people that use it who aren't comfortable with putting poisons out
Right.
or traps. They don't know what to do if they catch something anyway.
Right.
So they don't want anything that's lethal.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there who they don't want to harm the animals, and I understand that. And so this is it's a very good alternative to that.
Right. So the something else that I think would be beneficial to growers is that big torch that you guys got. You still got the big torch?
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah.
So a lot of growers, have issues with weeding and stuff, right? Yeah. But if they could go out there with the torch, and they could, just burn those plants down, it's a quick and easy solution to kill that without having to pull the weed or any of that.
Yeah. I use it all the time in the summer. I've got like cobblestone.
Right.
And you can't stop weeds from growing through it. So I'll just spend an hour or so with that torch and just burn them out right at the roots, and they don't come back. That's really what it was first developed for, for killing weeds. But I saw it and I thought, because I started in the ice melt business, that, hey, what a wonderful way to clear off a set of steps.
Right.
And a lot of people buy it just for that reason as well. Although I found out too, that I can light a charcoals pretty damn fast with that.
Oh yeah. that would light
it up. I mean, it took all of 10 seconds to start getting those coals red, and then I walked away from it.
Yeah.
It sure beats stuffing a chimney with newspaper.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's how my dad does it. He has the charcoal starter, and he'll ball up a bunch of newspapers, stuff them down in there, and then put his charcoal up, light it. Yeah,
and watch all the little white pieces, the ash fly up. Yeah,
I just don't have that kind of patience. I go out there and squirt it with lighter fluid and throw an on it.
You leave a flavor on the coal.
I know. A lot of people say that, but I can't taste it. I don't taste it. I don't, because I guess where I let it get white before I'll ever even put it on.
But a lot of people don't have the patience.
Right.
They see the flame, and the flame is going, and it's starting to turn white. Throw it on there, and then there's still too much of that vapor coming off it.
Yeah.
But this stuff, hey, it's pure flame.
Right.
You can just put it on those coals and get it going. And
that would be a very good, I never thought about that, but that would make one heck of a redneck toy for charcoal starting.
Or patching the driveway too.
Yeah.
Blacktop.
Yeah, that would be very good too. Get your bag of blacktop, heat it up and patch, heat it up and patch it up. Yeah, that would be a good way to do it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. A lot of uses, a lot of different uses for some of that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what else are you guys going to be coming up with? What's the future for Trident's Pride and all that?
Well, for that division of products, probably more organics, more fertilizers, more interesting blends.
Okay.
That's probably what's going to happen there. On the ice melt side, well, I'll tell you a quick story because it's exciting to me.
Right.
And maybe actually it has application for growers too.
Okay.
I've been working with a group of professors out of Rice University, and they are pioneering nanoparticles.
Hmm.
Now, what's interesting is they developed a nanoparticle that when the sun shines on it, it creates heat.
Huh.
So, what we tested this year is coating sodium chloride for the road salt, with these nanoparticles,
Okay.
so that when you put them out and the sun shines on the rock salt,
Right.
it generates heat and it melts more quickly,
Right.
and it'll keep melting. Um, of course, the downside is if you got a really cloudy day and the sun isn't shining, or
Right.
night, the rock salt will work by itself, but the nanoparticles won't work.
Right.
Okay, so what they did was they wanted to adapt this for the agricultural business. And what they did was create a netting that you could put over plants in the cold months,
Right.
or maybe, well, definitely a netting that, with the nanoparticles in it, when the sun shines, creates warmth around the plant.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
That'd be very cool.
it's there was an issue a couple of years ago in France with grape growing because
Right.
the plants were freezing. So they came up with a coated sand that you put around the base of the plants, and it was keeping the vines in better shape.
Right.
So that's one of the interesting things that
Yeah.
that's coming down the road.
That's very interesting. I'd like to see that.
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, YouTube, if you go to Rice University Nanoparticles,
Okay.
you can see an experiment that they ran about 5 years ago. It was run by one of the professors, Aura Newman, and she's now part of the company,
Okay.
where they actually brought water to a boil. They had the nanoparticles in the water.
Right.
They used the magnifying glass for the light of the
Right.
sun, and it brought the water to a boil.
Huh.
Which, yeah, pretty darn amazing.
Yeah.
That's when I first came in contact with them. I thought, I couldn't believe my eyes.
Right.
I immediately thought of the applications that it would have for ice melting, but apparently, they are a step ahead, thinking about agricultural uses where you can maybe even put it on an orange grove,
Right.
Florida, to keep the fruit from freezing.
Right.
Kind of interesting. Yeah, it's kind of interesting stuff.
I mean, we could use it. I mean, I know I could use that here. I mean, because the weather, you know, here in the mountains, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
Until you get to about June 15th, it's so unpredictable. You could be, we've not had any kind of winter this year. We've been, high 70s and stuff throughout all winter. We've not had any measurable amount of snow or anything, which is very untypical. But hang on one second. Hey, beat feet. You heard what I said. You too. Go on. Thank you. Go. Sorry. So
okay, I'm past that stage.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm a long ways from it. But anyways, where was it? Oh, so like we've had nice warm weather. We didn't have any snow that was measurable, and then we thought we were going to be in the good. Well, the past week and a half,
Yeah,
nothing but be cold.
yeah.
I mean, I've never had to thaw my pipes out in March, and here I am at the end of March, and the other day I woke up and had to unthaw the pipe.
Really? It was that cold.
Is that cold? Yeah.
Well, the Northeast also did not experience a real winter. We didn't have a lot of snow. It looks like the West Coast got everything this year, and
they did,
the far West, yeah,
right,
devastating. I mean, you don't know with climate change what the future is going to bring,
Right.
especially for growers. You know,
Right.
is it going to be freezing cold in March and
Right.
drought,
And
rain,
spring. Right.
no snow? I mean, it causes everybody to rethink what they do and how they
It
do it.
does. And that's another thing too that I like about using the fish emulsions and stuff is because I'm not throwing in a harmful amount of salt into my soil. You
Yeah,
know, because once that salt's in there, it's in there.
yeah,
I mean, it's going to take a long, long time for you to get that leached out.
oh
And
yeah,
by using these more natural fertilizers and things, I'm able to control that, and I'm not putting this, abnormal amount of salt on there. I'm not damaging the plants. I'm able to get better drought resistance,
yeah.
better heat tolerance and stuff like that out of the plants by using the fish emulsion and stuff. So I really like the way that you're going. I really like, to hear that you're going to be doing more organic stuff and moving in that direction of, a seaweed type with with the brown algae and having this, what was that again? The chitosan, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah. So having that and, it's very exciting stuff that it sounds like it's going to be on cutting edge because I've not heard of anybody. I know I've heard people using shellfish and they
yeah.
have, shellfish meal and stuff like that,
They do.
but
Yeah,
I've not heard anybody using it like you're talking about using it.
yeah. In a liquid state, or actually, they actually have now rendered it into a gel state. Also, I just
Okay.
don't know yet what the application might be. I mean, maybe I could put it into a caulking tube also, and then you can extrude it and mix it in with any kind of liquid fertilizer you're using or water.
Right.
Uh,
Right. And
yeah,
I wonder how much you would have to use of this. Um, and could you use it? Do you know if you could use that every watering, or would you only be able to use it every so often?
no. Let me just see if I have the dosage here. They recommend using it throughout the life cycle of a crop every 2 weeks until 2 weeks before harvest.
Okay.
Now, for a foliar application, 2 milliliters per liter of water,
Okay.
or 4 to 8 milliliters per gallon.
All right.
Root drench, 1 to 4 milliliters per milliliter of water, uh, or 4 to 6 milliliters per gallon.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, that's not that much.
No, it's
So
really not.
yeah, it go a little bit could go a long way then. So
Yeah, adding 8 millimeters, uh, what am I saying?
milliliters.
Milliliters,
Yeah.
yes, 8 milliliters uh, to each diluted gallon. 8 milliliters. Yeah, okay, eight milliliters. Or here, they translated it into ounces. 8.66 fluid ounces per gallon.
That's
So,
nothing.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You think about it, it's
Right.
really, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
So
it
that'd
doesn't.
be great.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that we'll probably be following that recipe and making it up shortly.
awesome.
Um,
So I'm going to ask them if any of the people watching have got any questions.
okay.
And while we're waiting to see if any of them have any questions asked, um, just kind of wrap this up a little bit. What do you what do you wanting people to know about your product and things
Well,
like that.
I think what I want everyone to know about us as a company is that we are open minded in terms of hearing from everyone who has an idea about what they need in order to become a better grower. I want them to realize that we are very competitively priced. We're there to, service anyone who wants to purchase any of these products from us. Um, And we just look forward to getting the word out that, we're there, we're out there, we've got good products, good prices, and we're always looking to learn more and to grow.
Okay. So, ain't got no questions from him. He's a great grower up in Alaska, by the way. He does really, really good.
When does his growing, GT, when does your growing season start?
I know he grows all winter up there inside.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but now I don't know when his outdoor growing
outdoor.
starts.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. Outdoor growing season start.
So, but he does really, really good.
That's good. A giant grower?
No, he don't grow giants, but he does a lot of gardening. He does a lot of hydroponics, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It's June 1st.
June 1st. Hey, okay.
So,
hey, guys, I hope that Ryan will share my email address with all of you. You can send me pictures of all your stuff. I'm going to be sending Ryan all sorts of information on a lot of the things that we talked about so that he could share it with everyone if he chooses to.
Right.
And I just appreciate the opportunity to sit here and see Ryan's sweet face tonight.
Yeah. So, Zone 4A is what he says he's in.
Zone 4A.
Yeah. So that I know it's cold up there.
Yeah, it's like Siberia.
Right? Yeah. But get out of here. Get the puppy in here now. If it ain't the kids, it's the pup. Yeah, so
it's always something.
Right. But I'm excited to see, where you guys go with this, and I'm excited to try some of this stuff this year. Also, Ed has been a great help to not only myself for growing, but he also helped a lot of veterans out and stuff. So if you're a veteran watching this, this is the guy who sends you all the fertilizer if you're in that Skill to Heal program. So tell him thank you. Write him an email and tell him thanks.
Yeah, definitely share my email because I love to hear from everybody.
Yeah, so I'll do that real quick. Let me see here. Pull it up here. I don't know how to find it exactly. So it's ed.brookmyer, BROOKMI or MYER at bearground.com. So you can find him there. So that's Ed's email address. So shoot him an email, show him some pictures and stuff because I'm sure he would love to see the pictures of the stuff you guys have grown with the fertilizer that he sent you guys. And if you're in the program this year and stuff, or the group, whatever, y'all need to make sure you send pictures because that's going to be one of my stipulations that I'm going to put on it is that you must share pictures and stuff because that's the least you guys could do for Ed because Ed uses that on his website and stuff, right?
I got pictures of you up there.
Right. Yeah. And so Ed can use those pictures and stuff to just kind of be like, hey, this is what I'm a part of. This is what I'm doing. And here's the deal. If you guys are buying product from Ed, all right, you're supporting a wonderful company that is supporting veterans. Okay. And that's important too. I think it's important that we support those who's going to support others. And, whether that's veterans or whatever, homeless people or whatever it is, I think it's important that we support companies that are willing to support others and not just, for lack of better words, get fat on the hog. Okay. I love the fact that, Ed, I didn't even have to ask Ed. Ed just says, hey, what's this Skill to Heal program thing? Can I be a part of it? Absolutely. And he's been a wonderful person to be in that. And we're hopefully going to be able to get more companies to be a part of that and stuff. And so again, if you're buying from them, that's the kind of company you're supporting. And if you're in the Skill to Heal program, that's where you're getting your fertilizer from. So if Ed, if you don't have anything else, I'm going to.
Oh, it was a pleasure though, Ryan. I really enjoyed talking with you tonight.
Yes, sir.
And, once everything comes out and is introduced in a few months down the road, let's do it again. We'll have another follow-up.
Yeah, I think we should do it again. Set it up for sometime in the summer. June,
Yeah.
July, somewhere around in there. Maybe July, so we can kind of see where my pumpkins are and everything else, and what all's doing good and what all might not be doing good. But yeah, hopefully we're going to be all right. But I'll wrap this up. But if you just want to stay on, I can end the broadcast here in just a second. And you stay on, and me and you'll wrap up our time, and then
Okay.
and stuff. But so I need my Vanna White. So I got Vanna. Vanna's got to come and help me with the calendar because I can't remember.
Gee, thank you.
Yes. Let's see here. So the 28th is Jason from Cattywampus Acres next week. We'll have Cattywampus Acres on. Jason will be here talking to us about goats and how to make goat milk soap. And is my goat pregnant or not? I don't know, but I hope she is, right? Because I bought her for breeding and making babies and producing milk, and by golly, she better start. The 4th of April, we have Previgenics coming on. They are my other fertilizer company. They take care of some of my other products like the liquid compost and some of those things like that I use, Cow Mag and stuff. So we're going to have them on the 4th. I think Andy will be the one coming to talk to us from Previgenics. And again, all these are at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then on the 11th is Elijah from Aeromixer. Aeromixer is a great company, guys. You can go and use my link that I'll post below as soon as this loads up and everything. I have to go and edit it. But the link that I have is for $50 off of the Aeromixer. Now, the Aeromixer is a great product. You'll hear more about that. But if you are not aware of what it is, go type in Aeromixer, AEROMIXER, and you'll find out real quick what it is. It is a great product if you're going to mix fertilizer or if you're brewing compost teas. It's a wonderful thing to use to do either of those. And guys, it is an absolute beast. You guys can check out my Instagram and my YouTube shorts, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It is a very powerful little machine. It's a whole lot better than those air stones and air bubblers and all that stuff. So go check that out. Then on the 18th, we have Mark Morales from the GPC coming. We'll talk to him about the GPC, some very exciting things that he says he has to talk to us about. And he's also going to talk a little bit about his passion, which is taking pictures of these giant pumpkins and letting us know, why he does it and how you might be able to get some pictures and stuff or put pictures on his website and things like that. So got a nice little lineup going. The 25th, I'm not sure who I got in that spot just yet. I've asked several people. I'm still waiting for a response from them, but we'll find out just as soon as we get that lined out who April 25th will be. If you want to be on the show, you can email me at babydrill2119@yahoo.com. You can also see that in my About page, but email me with the subject title live stream. All right, and we'll get you on. We'll get you booked and on the live stream show. I'd love to have everybody, whether you're a giant grower, a gardener, a YouTuber, homesteader, whatever you are, a company, come on, let's talk about what you got going on, and hopefully we can make a bigger, stronger community off of that and help one another grow. So, guys, again, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate Ed coming on tonight. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And guys, we'll see you next time right here in the hollers and hills of West Virginia. See y'all.